The Mystara project is proud to present part 29 of the Places of Mystara series. In this video, we take a look at Ierendi's famous Adventurers Club. The Adventurers Club was first introduced in the 1987 product, GAZ 4, The Kingdom of Ierendi, on page 11. The club's headquarters are located near the center of the town of Ierendi, with chapter houses in the larger settlements of the kingdom. GAZ 4 refers to the chapter houses being in the larger towns, but Ierendi is the only large town in the kingdom. There are two small towns, Vlad and Garmo, which probably have chapter houses. 5 villages have 600 or more inhabitants, namely, Kobos, Jortan, Ronoak, Koarutiba and Nula, so they may contain a chapter house as well. Of these villages, Kobos is highly likely to have one, as the Adventurers Club is very active on Safari Island. The Ierendi Town Club headquarters are located to the east of the marketplace, southwest of the Whispering Palms Resort, northwest of the Wave Resort, and north of the Sanctuary of the Eternal Truth. To the north are businesses. It is not known when the Adventurers Club was formed, but it was certainly before AC 800. As sometime before AC 800, the Royal Coral Castle was completed on Beverly Boulevard south of the town center, and the old Royal Castle was turned over to the Adventurers Club by the monarchs. In AC 867, Honor Island Mages offered to sponsor and design the inaugural Royal Tournament of Adventurous Contests, to select the King and Queen of Ierendi. It is not known if their role was exclusive, or if the Adventurers Club was also involved. The Adventurers Club serves as a prestigious social organization for famous adventurers, the rock stars of Mystara, if you will. Ierendians are huge fans of well-known adventurers, who are attracted to reside in Ierendi town via a royal decree exempting them from all taxes. This enticement goes one better than Alphatia, which only exempts adventuring income from taxation. The club also provides support to adventurers, especially via training. It is also a staunch supporter of Ierendi, by promoting tourism through martial demonstrations, supplying experienced adventurers for worthy quests, and answering calls to arms, to counter threats to public welfare, by mobilizing as the officers, heroes, and elite troops of the royal brigades. One of the main requirements to gain membership into the club is a worthy performance in the Royal Tournament of Adventurers. So, let us now look at what is required to enter the tournament, which is held on the 1st of Claremont each year. The first step is to apply in person at the Adventurers Club, by no later than the 15th of Yarmouth. Hundreds apply annually from all over southeast Brune. Applicants are then tested by an experienced member individually and in groups. The member spars with the applicants, either with weapons or magic, to see if they are up to tournament standard. Presumably, the magical sparring is facilitated through damage belts. Those who pass the sparring test are invited to compete against each other in an adventure park, which simulates a real adventure, but with the safety of damage belts. Sometimes, contestants are shipped to Safari Island to compete in the parks there. Adventurers Club judges then select contestants they deem worthy of competing in the tourney. Whilst higher scores have a better chance than lower scores, if the judges pick up on a trait that may make the contestant a bad fit for a monarch, they will overlook them. Successful applicants must then be willing to pledge allegiance to the tribunal, the Council of Citizens and Ierendi. By AC 1013, only 36 applicants are chosen to compete in the tournament. The Adventurers Club oversees the tournament through a Council of Adventurers. The Royal Court, consisting of 8 ministers without portfolio, also supervise the tournament. They are mostly looking for cheating, like contestants ignoring their damage belts, indicating they are dead. The tourney takes place in the Makalaui crater, in the Ierendi uplands. The first event involves individual battles. The second event is a physical and magical obstacle course that is scored on speed, sometimes referred to as the Wilderness Olympics. The third event is an oral examination by the tourney judging panel, who ask hypothetical adventure scenario questions. Answers are scored on cleverness and plausibility. The tribunal members score the tourney in secret, so they can screen out contestants they believe are unfit to be monarchs. By AC 1013, 5 Adventure Club members act as judges instead of the tribunes, and score each event from 1 to 10. In the case of ties, individual combat is used to determine the winner. Following the tournament, Adventurers Club members nominate candidates for club admission from the tournament competitors via a ballot. A list of candidates is then presented to the monarchs. The monarchs, under advice from the royal court, select candidates from the list. As the monarchs would have just participated in the tournament, they may have already formed an opinion on the candidates, especially ones that they took a disliking to. A selection committee at the club then performs a final screening of the monarchs list before choosing the successful candidates. Although there do not appear to be any entry or ongoing membership fees, Adventurers Club members have obligations to fulfill to maintain membership. Firstly, they must compete in the Royal Tournament of Adventurers annually, and put in a worthy performance. So, a member that doesn't compete, cheats, or puts in a poor performance, may have their membership cancelled. Perhaps some exceptions apply. For example, if club members are part of the organizing and judging council of adventurers, they would not be able to compete in the tournament. Other circumstances, like missing the tourney due to being on an adventure sanctioned by the club, or imprisoned by evil forces, may also be exempted. The second obligation is for members to complete at least 2 adventures, without payment, sanctioned by the club per year. Presumably, the majority of these missions allow the adventurers to keep all, or most, of the treasure they find. These sanctioned adventures usually serve the interests of Ierendi and its communities. The third obligation requires members to participate in public skill demonstrations, like choreographed fights and exhibitions, to promote the club and Ierendi tourism. In Ierendi town, most of these demonstrations take place at 5 p.m. every evening at the School of Arts Theatre. Finally, members are required to answer a call to serve the monarchs of Ierendi against threats to public welfare. This could be a small-scale adventuring party task or a call to arms, where the club members form the officers, heroes, and elite troops of the royal brigades. In addition to being able to network with other adventurers, Adventurers Club members gain other benefits from belonging to the club. They are entitled to free room and board at any club. Unfortunately, the food quality ranges from indifferent to terrible, just like the iron rations adventurers are accustomed to. Members earn the title Kre, meaning guardian in Mackay. Those of lesser station, like commoners, address members as sir or madam. The club organizes special Safari Island tours for sport and/or practice, reserved for members only. Gastineau's Adventure Park on Safari Island has a dedicated Kre gym, where members can train, sparring against each other, and occasionally against the higher-level park owners, Gastineau Longblade and Seaman Saint-Pierre. Additional benefits come from access to training for class abilities, weapon masteries and general skills, magic items sales and identification, magical research, maps, rumors, and legends. If there is enough space, and if the Chamberlain gives permission, notable non-members from out of town may be permitted to rent club rooms as guests at very reasonable rates, for short stays. Non-members may eat in the Great Hall if they qualify. To qualify, they must be accompanied by a member, or produce evidence of their adventuring experience under a sworn oath. The Great Hall occupies the ground floor of the west of the castle. Excluding its entryway, the hall is roughly 140 foot long and 100 foot wide. Meals are served during the day and early evening. It is a desirable place to see, and be seen in. The official structure of the club was not detailed, except for the Chamberlain, who is in charge of the sleeping quarters, and is presumably a general manager that runs the premises in accordance with the club's charter. It is likely, the club has an annually elected committee of a president, secretary, and treasurer. Despite some members believing only humans may join the club, after some debate the club reluctantly decided to allow the Red Dragon Earl of Arentella, Respen Actarpis, to compete in the AC 1013 tournament. Interestingly, the club did not exercise its discretion to disallow the Red Dragon's request. Although this was a ruse and the dragon did not compete, it means that membership is open to all species, subject to the other criteria being met. The club's membership is described in the hundreds. Using the Royal Brigades as a basis, there are 300 personnel who might be members, excluding the second and third level fighters. Other members are likely to be the Ierendi monarchs, King Palfret, Queen Marianne, the famous halfling Heartstone adventurer, Kre Figen, and Tabawi, one of Sambella's tour guides on Safari Island. As Palfret and Marianne are both 14th level and won the most recent tourney in AC 999, it is likely that most members would not be much higher than 14th level. Most members would probably be fighters, with some paladins and knights. If the royal brigades are an accurate representation, magic users would be the next most common. Then thieves and rakes. Clerics seem underrepresented, perhaps membership may conflict with their order obligations, or the less church-focused Ierendi culture may be a factor. Demi-humans, including gnomes, would be next. Finally, there may be some exotic species, like lupins and racasta. Members comprise both natives and foreigners. Foreigners are drawn from all over southeast Brune, perhaps with the exception of the Carnates and the Broken Lands. Club revenues are generated from non-member rents and dining. Other sources may include donations, government grants, and fees for training courses and identifying magic items, and permit fees to enter the Makalau'i Crater Wilderness Park. Club expenditure includes day-to-day supplies, sponsorship of theatre events, and tours to Safari Island. It is possible that the below-average quality food provided by the club could be created by clerical magic to save costs. The castle headquarters present in a roughly harp-shaped array, with 95-foot diameter round towers in the west, northeast, and southeast. A courtyard area surrounds the Great Hall, offering a pleasant area to meditate in the morning and spa in the afternoon. Stables for both land-based and aerial mounts are likely to be located in the courtyard close to the gate. The castle is likely to contain a trophy room, filled with creatures' heads, with details of which adventurers were responsible and tactics they used. Portraits and statues of famous adventurers are likely to be scattered throughout the castle. Chapter houses in other settlements are likely to be simple fortified manors, of stone or wood. The Adventurers Club is presented as a possible hub for an Ierendi-based campaign. Native and foreign adventurers could seek to join the club once they have reached a sufficient level to compete in the royal tournament and have gained some fame as adventurers. Most of their adventuring needs would be catered for by the club. The monarchs have a list of club members, who they call upon from time to undertake missions. Non-members seek to hire adventurers at the club's Great Hall. Club members have an almost endless supply of adventure hooks they can provide. Parties requiring additional team members or retainers don't need to hang around taverns, they have the club. The PCs could learn new fighting styles, like dual-wielding and unarmed combat, or be introduced to exotic new weapons. Club-related adventure ideas are presented in GAS 4. Who is killing the great adventurers of Ierendi requires an investigation into the murders of 3 club members, involving assassins hired by a Glantrian wizard seeking to eliminate competition for the crown. The contest scenario involves a tactful mission to suggest to King Palfret that he needs to train to get in shape to defend his crown. The PCs may discover that his ill-disciplined diet is being influenced by the royal cook, Jen, whose brother hopes to compete in the tourney. Of course, to stay in the club, the PCs will have to compete in the annual tourney and perform well enough to satisfy the Council of Adventurers. Ierendi may be drawn into a regional conflict, causing the monarchs to call up the royal brigades. The PCs answer the call, allowing them to undertake special military missions as heroes, or lead mass combat battles as officers. Once characters reach companion level play, they may have outgrown the club, or perhaps they will remain and lead the club to expand overseas. Expansion would have to be negotiated with the tribunal, to ensure it would be in Ierendi's best interests, by not hurting tourism, and the ability to attract overseas adventurers to the islands. For non-members, the PCs could provide evidence of their exploits to gain entry to the Great Hall to meet a particular adventurer, or seek adventuring opportunities in general. Non-members may be hired by the club in case they suspect an inside job of foul play, like in the contest scenario. Unlike guilds, the club is not concerned by non-members adventuring. It is a prestigious organization, maintained by exclusivity and qualification of members. An adventure for both members or non-members could involve a plot by evil foreigners to either corrupt or conquer the club. An avenger of an entropic cult, posing as a paladin, could lead an infiltrate and corrupt type of mission against the club. This concludes part 29 of the Places of Mystara series, featuring the famous Adventurers Club of Ierendi.